Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be going through the October 2021 US SAT non-calc section. Yeah, the section is going to look a little funky because somebody made this test. Doesn't look like it's an official QAS thing. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But this is that test. So let's get into it. Number 1. 3k plus 2k equals 5. What is the solution to the given equation? Super easy. 5k equals 5. And so, of course, k just equals 1. Okay, number 2. What is the graph of the equation y equals 3 to the x power? Easiest way to match an equation like this to the graph is just use some points. So when x equals 1, we know that y is going to be equal to 3. And also when x equals 0, y is going to be equal to 1. So really should have started with x equals 0, y equals 1 first, but I just forgot. So when x equals 0, y equals 1, looks like only one answer choice is going to work. That is answer choice A. So kaboom, it is A. Next, number 3. For the quadratic function f, the table shows some values of x and their corresponding values of f of x. Which of the following could be the graph of y equals f of x? So presumably this should have been like an actual table, but it's fine. They gave us the x values and the corresponding y values for it. So we see that when x equals -1 and 1, y should be equal to 0. Okay, so that eliminates C, it eliminates D. We've got A and B. And then when x equals 0, y should be -4. So that eliminates B because in that scenario we have a positive value. So our answer to 3 is going to be A. Cool. Number 4. In the given equation f, C is a constant, f of 2 equals 12. What is the value of C? They give you information, plug it in. So if f of 2 equals 12, just plug that in. 12 is going to be equal to 3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus C. 12 equals 12 plus 8 minus C. So C is going to be equal to 8. Cool. Number 5. Let's see. We have an equation, 11.5x plus 3.5y equals 265. A person used a total of 265. I don't feel like reading all this. I'm just going to read it to myself, and you can read it. If this person ran for 20 minutes, how many minutes did this person walk? Okay, so just plug it in. The running was the 11.51. So we're going to do 11.5 times 20 plus 3.5 y equals 265. So 11.5 times 20, well, we know 11.5 times 10 is 115, so times 20 it should be 230. So 230 plus 3.5y equals 265. So 3.5y equals 35. So y equals 10. Cool. Easy peasy so far. Okay. Ooh, I've been told a lot of students' scores went up with this test compared to their previous one. Maybe this is why. Let's see if it gets any harder. Which of the following is equivalent to the given expression? 6 over x over 18. This is basically just the same thing as 6 over 18x. So that should give us 1 over 3x. So B should be the answer. Cool. Number 7. In the figure shown, C is the center of the circle, AB is tangent to the circle at A. Which of the following is true but the measure of angle BAC? So BAC is this angle right here. And the reason I put a little square there is because it's a 90-degree angle. And the reason it's a 90-degree angle is because whenever you have a line that is tangent to a circle, means it hits at exactly one point, the rule is that it forms a 90-degree angle. So we know for a fact that that angle is going to be 90 degrees, which is B. Cool. Wait, nope. 90 degrees is C. C. Cool. Okay, number 8. We have this graph. What is the value of x for f of x equals 0? When they say f of x equals 0, what that means is y equals 0. The notation f of x just means the value of y for some specific value of x. But in this case, they're asking for what is the value of x when y equals 0. So that is going to be here, because that is where y equals 0. And at that point, x equals 3. So our answer is going to be D3. Number 9. The equation shown above gives A in terms of P, R, and T, where P and R are not equal to 0. Which equation gives T in terms of A, P, and R? Okay, a lot of wording and stuff, but really they're literally just asking us to isolate this for T. So we're just going to do PEMDAS backwards to isolate it for T. You've done this before, right? A million times probably. So let's just do it. So let me rewrite it. A equals P times RT plus 1. We're solving for T, so A over P equals RT plus 1. A over P minus 1 equals RT. And then we're dividing this by R. So we're going to have A over PR minus 1 over R equals T. And that looks like it's answer C. Cool. Number 10. What is the volume in cubic units of the right triangular prism shown? So super simple. You know how, like, with a rectangular prism, you just do length times width times height. This is the same thing, but it's triangular, so you also divide it by 2. So the easiest way I could explain about, there's a specific rule about like a vertex and stuff about figuring out like what base and height of a triangle, but also a much easier way. Just imagine just like rotating this triangular prism, right, onto its side. In that case, the base would be 6 and the height would be 6. So just do that. 6 times 6 times 10 times 1/2 gives you the volume. Again, the 1/2 comes from the fact that it's a triangular prism. So this is 360 times 1/2 is 180. So the volume should be 180. C. Number 11. Hotel has 180 rooms on a certain day. Half of the rooms were cleaned. There were 9 housekeepers on duty, and each cleaned the same number of rooms. Which of the following equations represents the information given in terms of R? Well, we could think of this in a few ways. One way we could think of it is, we know that R is the number of rooms each of them cleans, right? And they have to clean the same number of rooms. So we can just do 180 divided by 9, which gives us 20 rooms per cleaning lady or housekeeper. So just see which equation, when you solve it for R, gives you 20. And the only one that does that is going to be A. So that's our answer. Cool. Number 12. A patio is made using square paving stones that are all the same size. There will be no gaps between the paving stones and they will not overlap. The line in the XY plane above represents the relationship between the area y in square feet and of the patio and the number of paving stones used to make the patio. The top surface of each paving stone is square with a side length of k feet. What is the value of k? This is an unusual question. I am willing to bet that anybody who made mistakes on this section so far has probably only made a mistake on this question. Maybe on number 10, they were trying to draw some weird lines in that triangle or something. Okay, we get it. Let's reread the question. Okay, so basically the line represents some stuff. Let's label the axes first, because they didn't do it for us, at least on this test that I'm looking at. So x is the number of paving stones. So this is number of stones, and the y is the area. Okay, I'm gonna write it like it like that. I'm like writing sideways because I don't want the thing to rotate. So in other words, for example, when we have 8 stones, the area is going to be 32, which means that each stone would have an area of 4, because 32 divided by 8 is 4. But if each stone has an area of 4, well, they're squares, right? With side lengths of k feet. That means that k squared equals 4, because the way you find the area of a square is you square the side length. So k should be equal to 2. And you might be wondering, Arturo, what if we picked another one? Well, it didn't matter which one we picked. It's a linear equation. We could have picked, for example, 10 and 40, right? The area of each one would still be 4. And so, which means the area, which means the side length of each one would still be 2. So B should be our answer. Number 13. Line L shown in the xy plane above. Which of the following is an equation of line L? Okay, just use the information about the line. What's the slope? It looks like it goes down 2 over 5. So the equation is going to be y is equal to negative 2/5 x. Starts at a y-intercept of 2, so plus 2. See which... You'll just need to rearrange all of the equations and see which one gives you that. The first one gives us a positive slope, because if we subtract the 5x and it divided by negative 2, we're going to have a positive 5/2, so that's no bueno. The second one gives us a negative slope, but the wrong one, because if we subtract 5x, we're going to have negative 5 over 2. C gives us a positive slope when we solve it for y, which means we're left with D, but let's just double check it. 5y equals negative 2x plus 10, so y equals negative 2x over 5 plus 2. D works. Okay, number 14, in the system of equations above, n is a constant if the system has no solutions. What is the value of n? No solutions means the lines never intersect, and there are only... The only types of lines that don't intersect are parallel lines. So which means that and what is true about parallel lines? Their slopes are the same. That's why they're like same slope constantly. So we just need to rewrite these equations. The easiest way to do it, the simplest way to do it without thinking about it too much, unless you can do it in your head, is rewrite each equation for y. Y equals something. And then set the slopes equal to each other. So we're going to rewrite the top equation as 3y equals negative nx plus 1, which means that y equals negative n over 3x plus 1/3. This is the first equation. The second equation is going to be negative 6y equals negative 12x. So y equals 2x. That's the second equation. So we have to set the slopes equal to each other. negative n over 3 equals 2, which means that n should be equal to negative 6. Because negative 6 over 3 equals positive 2. So B is the answer. Number 15, which of the following is equivalent to the square root of 16a to the 16th power? This you just got to remember your exponent rules. The number that's in there, like the coefficient is 16, you take the square root of it. So that's going to be 4. Then when you have an exponent and you take like a root of it, you divide. So when you have a square root, there's like a little imaginary 2 in there. So you do 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So it's going to be 4a to the 8th power b. Almost done. How many minutes are we in? 16? Cool. Number 16, the graph of y equals negative, the graph of y equals 3/5 x minus 8 and the xy plane is a line. What is the slope of the line? Super easy. It's the coefficient of the x. So that's 3/5. Number 17, the solution to a given system of equations is x, y. What is the value of x? So in order to get the value of x, we have to eliminate y. You can do this in two ways. You can solve the one equation for like y and then plug that into the second equation, or you can use elimination. I tend to prefer elimination just because I think it's easier. So this is where you try to eliminate one of the variables. You eliminate the variable you don't need. In this case, that'll be y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3. Cool. And I think that should be an equals. Yeah. I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3. I'm going to multiply the entire bottom equation by 2. So this gets us 9x plus 6y equals 24. And this gets us 8x minus 6y equals 10. And now you can just add the two equations to eliminate the y's. Because then you'll get 17x equals 34. So x equals 2. Cool. Number 18, in right triangle xyz, sine of x equals cosine of 20. Yeah, so that's cosine of like 20. What is the measure in degrees of angle x? This is probably the other question I would imagine that people miss on this test. And this test had not a great curve for math. Like -1, you were at 790, -2, 780. You couldn't get any wrong to get a perfect score. But there is a rule in right triangles, which is that sine of x equals cosine of y when x plus y equals 90. It's a really good rule. You need to know it. This keeps popping up in the tests, and it's viewed as a more difficult sort of a question. Because it's not a rule you really learn about. You learn it in school once, and if you have a really good SAT tutor, they'll teach it to you. But if you have a mediocre SAT tutor, they won't. So if sine of x is equal to cosine of 20, they told us it's a right triangle. So that means, based off of this rule, the two angles we're looking at have to add up to 90. Which means that x plus 20 has to be equal to 90. So x has to be equal to 70. Because then sine of 70 equals cosine of 20, because the x and y add up to 90. And we know the x and y have to add up to 90 because it's a right triangle, right? If the right angle is 90, the other two angles have to add up to 90 in order for all the angles of the triangle to add up to 180. Number 19, what is the sum of the solutions to a given equation? Super easy. You just do x minus 2 equals 3. And then because it's an absolute value function, you set up a second equation. X minus 2 equals negative 3. So x equals 5. X equals negative 1. 5 plus negative 1. That looks really funky. 5 plus, I don't know, negative 1 equals 4. And last question, number 20. In the given equation, b is a positive constant. The sum of the solutions of the equation is 5. What is the value of b? Cool. So remember, the solutions are basically going to be the opposites of like whatever the signs are. So if you have an x plus 3, one solution is going to be negative 3. If you have an x minus b, the other solution is going to be b. And then we also have an x squared in the front, so that one's going to be 0, but I mean, we don't really need that for this. So basically, they're telling us that negative 3 plus b equals 5. So b equals 8. And that's it. Hope you liked the video. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get lost. Peace and love. Bye.